Hi, I'm Claire, coming from Irene in my studio. Welcome again to our short videos. This one today hopefully is going to be short and sweet, but it's about one of the important components of any quilting system that uses a frame, and that's your leader cloths. Depending on the machine you've got and the age of it, your leader cloths may look slightly different. Some of them have lines on them. Those tend to be on the older machines. Some of them will just have the Handi Quilter logo on if you have a Handi Quilter machine. You may be watching with a different type of brand of machine. That's fine. You're still using leader cloths, so the information is relevant. The newer machines, the Moxies, they don't have any markings on the cloths. And you can even make your own. I have replaced leader cloths over time. Some of mine have been cannibalized to be used at shows when we take a shorter frame. So I've kind of cut mine in half and then needed something to use when I get back to the studio. So I've even made my own out of either bull denim or a canvas, whatever you can get that's a strong, sturdy fabric. So two things that you need to know for sure with your leader cloths is the first one is that you need to have the centers lined up and marked, both on your back bar, on your take-up bar, and on the other two bars. If you don't load your quilt top, if you float it, then the bar that you would normally attach your quilt top to is less important, but it's always good to have the centers marked on all three of your leader cloths. So the biggest tip that I can give you is do not measure the center. Don't take the ends of your leader cloths, put them together, and then find the center of the cloth that way. Actually measure once the cloth is on your bars. Once you've attached it with the Velcro, then measure. Okay, so measure from the end of your pole to the other end of the pole, and then find your halfway point then. Do not measure from the end of the fabric to the end of the fabric, because sometimes on those three poles you might have three different start points, which means you're going to end up with three different middle points, and we want all those middles, got the silly cough today, all those middles to line up so that when you load your quilt it remains straight and it doesn't get twisted. So you're going to measure from the end of the pole, not from the end of the cloth. The other thing that we get asked about as well is over time your cloths tend to get used much more in the central section and much less at the end. This quilt that I've got on the frame here for a customer is quite a big one, so it extends almost but not entirely to the end of the leader cloth. But most of the time you're going to use the center section of your leader cloths. So those tend to stretch a little bit. They will be longer than at the ends. So over time you need to straighten them up. Now Kimmy Brunner, our big friend from the States, she has a really excellent PDF file on her website. So we'll put the link up for you here. Go and have a look and see how Kimmy recommends that you straighten your leader cloths. You can do it all on the machine. You don't have to take them off. So that's dead easy. All you need are some pins and channel locks. So most of you have got those anyway. If you don't have channel locks, then Kimmy's got a great hack for you of how you can use bulldog clips or something similar to be able to do the same thing. So straightening your leader cloths here is a good idea. They do tend to bow and they stretch in the center. What I don't worry about is the ends of the cloths. Sometimes they roll up and they don't roll up nicely. You'll see a picture that I'll put up here for you what I mean. That doesn't matter as much. As long as you have your cloths smoothed out nicely on the poles, that there's no sort of bubbles or pleats in them, then those ends, they don't always roll up evenly. So the end of the pole is not the problem to me, it's more in the center. And if you don't line them up nicely, then of course you're going to end up with a quilt that doesn't sit nicely on the frame here. And you're going to end up most likely with flappy ends and a tighter tension in the center, which is not ideal to work with. Finally, my leader cloths get pretty grubby at the ends because I tend to grab hold of them most often there when I want to wind on and make sure that everything is nice and smooth. So over time, when you're quilting a lot, they do tend to get dirty. Different people say you shouldn't wash them, you should just replace them. Personally, I don't see a problem in washing them at all. Once you've washed them, what you are going to have to do is check that they're square. So check through Kimmy's file instructions again on how to straighten up your leader cloths, and you're going to have to find the centers again. So you may not have put them back in exactly the same place on your frame after they've been washed. So again, check that they're square in this direction and check that you've got your centers. If you've got that done correctly, then you're good to go and you'll have no problem quilting. The great thing with washing the Handi Quilter leader cloths is that they are attached by Velcro. So it's that easy just to rip them off, wash them, and then put them back on. If you've got any questions, you know where to get hold of us. You're very welcome to send us an email or give me a call. I love to hear from you. Happy quilting!